Alright, so I don't really make videos like this. I don't really make videos talking about like new like update like sneak peeks or like talking about like announcements by Gus Mack about him like talking about like the future of AR2 or something like that. But this one like earlier or yesterday, Gus Mack made the biggest community post about like AR2's like future and like the future of AR2. And I just thought it was just too cool and too big not like make a video on it. So yeah, I'm gonna be making a video on this. So I'm gonna be like talking about like the biggest things he talks about, the most interesting parts, and like the parts I really want to talk about in this video, and like not like the entire post, because this thing is really long. It took me so long to read this entire thing. So yeah, I'm just gonna be talking about certain things that I really want to talk about in this video. So yeah, let's get into it. Also, I'm gonna be like linking this entire post in the description of the video. But anyways, with that all said, now let's get into it. So he starts with the post saying like the core Epoch 2 development team like participated in Roblox's accelerator program, and also saying that like he wants to take this opportunity to fully inform everyone what we've been working on and what we have planned. And also, if you didn't know, some of the work that him and like the development team has been working on was teased in the latest like development trailer, which I'll be linking in the description of the video if you want to check it out. But basically, this post talks about 4 main things. The new map, like they're completely remaking the entire map, a new interface for the inventory and stuff, missions, and base building. So yeah, we're gonna talk about all of those and like some important things, like important details we talked about. So he first talks about the new map. He says that like over the years, like AR2's development, like we created like the map a couple of times. Like they've made the map, like they've recreated the map like multiple times, and you know, since like now they have experience with like making the map, and like now they have like learned from like lessons from older maps and from mistakes on older maps. They are now going to make a whole new map after learning from mistakes from other maps that they've made and from like all the experience of making maps, since they like recreate the maps or the map multiple times. So one of the things he talks about the new map is that like unlike the current map that we have in the game right now, the new map will not have a big empty stretch of water in the center. Like you won't have to swim across like empty water for like 5 minutes to get somewhere. Instead, they said they will be replacing space between the islands with a winding river, and said that they're planning to add more bridges between islands, and of course distance to swim between islands will be less significant. There should also be some more cover. Also, they said that they will make Mackinac Island, they said that Mackinac Island will be reworked to become a part of Barkley Island, which that seems pretty cool. And they also said that we're completely removing Volcano from Barkley and replacing it with a new environment that will take up much less space. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And they also said for Lulu and Albatross, but they're still debating changes. So yeah, that's pretty cool. They're removing Volcano, which I don't know how I totally feel about that, but I mean, it was taking up a lot of space. I was like taking up 60% of the space on the island, so they're moving it to add something else that doesn't take up as much space. So alright. They also say that we expect to have a variety of islands around the main 3. So like he means like islands like in the water, but like where you like swim. Like not like besides the main 3 islands, there's gonna be like small like beach islands, I guess you could say, like around in like the water. So if that makes sense. They're also trying to motivate players to travel inward, because like they're like carefully repositioning some unique locations, most importantly the Naval Air Station, or as I like to call it, MA. He says that MA will be reworked and moved to a more central location on the map, which pretty much encourages players to move inward. Right now, the MA is like next to like the ocean, so you can just like swim from like Lulu or something to like MA. But in the new map, MA will be like inland. So yeah, it's another change in the new update, or in the new map, I mean. They also said that they're trying to attempt to reduce the amount of repetitive or redundant loot rooms and reduce overall numbers of containers or players expected to search before finding decent gear. So that means like more multi-story buildings where the first floor will be the only floor with an interior, which like also like betters performance since there's not as many like parts, I guess you could say. Yeah, like more like buildings with multi-story floors, and like most like the buildings with multi-story floors will have only one of like the floors will be like lootable. The rest won't have an interior because like more better performance. So like some houses will have some rooms completely blocked off, you can't enter. Some like buildings won't even have an interior at all. Kind of like in AR1. If you like don't remember, like in AR1, there were like these houses that had like no interiors. You couldn't look inside. There was like literally no interiors, which pretty much what they're doing with AR2, mainly because of like performance and stuff. They're also adding like a new inventory interface. This was like there was like a brief like demonstration of this interface in their like development trailer, which again I've linked in the description below if you want to check it out. But they also give us a new image of it, just like the inventory. So as you can see here, like the clothing in your like backpack and stuff is like around your character in the inventory. And like your hotbar isn't changed, but like there's like a thing here, I don't know what to call it, like you can see like your like primary, secondary, melee, and I think this is for like your flashlight, binocular, something like that, for like new utility or something that they're adding to the game, but I'm pretty sure this is for your flashlight and stuff. But apart from that, there's nothing really else different that I can really notice in this image, unless I'm just forgetting something. The one thing I don't really like too much is that like the clothing slots are like around your like character. I don't really like it too much, but then again, it's not that big of a deal. We'll get used to it. So now it's time to talk about base building, something that players have been waiting for a very, very long time. But basically, he starts off with base building. He says that I understand that players have been curious about Epoch 2's base building system for a long time, and also he says that we have not even yet begun working on implementing the base building system, so everything he says is still highly subject to change. But he says that he wants the base building system to be easy to use, fast engaging, fast rewarding, and most importantly, just fast. And he says why speed is so important, because currently we do not have plans to support persistent servers. This means we won't be able to guarantee that your base will still be around on some server you played up the day before. But that's why they're trying to specifically design the base building system and the player experience around shorter play sessions. They want to have the player have a full base building experience in 2 to 3 hours if possible. Basically, like, you should be able to gather resources and build a base in under an hour, especially if you have a vehicle. For the following hour or two, you could complete objectives, achievements, unlocks, raid other bases, defend your own base, or maybe even like lose everything in one big fight. He also says that we want to offer a variety of unique rewards for base building and maybe even vehicles or firearms. Ultimately, it is these rewards earned by exploring and completing objectives, missions, which we'll talk about later, or through achievements, which will act as Epoch 2's primary method of long-term progression. He says that instead, the majority of base building assets will be designed to be used with existing structures. I can't talk today for some reason. He says while we do expect players to be able to build simple outdoor like barriers, maybe barbed wire defenses or small platforms, our intention is for players to choose any building in the game and easily fortify it. Like, for example, fortifying like a house in Ashland or something. He said that some unique structures will give players the option to construct a special prefab or two that may not be available elsewhere. So, for example, let's say you try to base at like RT or something. But like say like at RT, there's a special thing you can do there. They can't do if you decide to base at like Ashland or something like that. He also says that, like, what if structures had even more reasons for you to consider basing at one places versus another? He says that, like, these ideas are highly subject to change, but he does have some ideas, saying, like, maybe, like, we could, like, introduce rare vehicle upgrades, but the only way you can apply them is if you drove to an auto shop and used the vehicle lift. In this case, a vehicle lift would require power to, so you would have to make sure the power plant was providing power to your region. Now, what if, like, an auto shop had a large generator with a bit of fuel? You could power the vehicle lift and get that rare vehicle upgrade installed. Maybe the big hangar doors could be opened or closed. Maybe some locations could have, like, powered gates or obstacles that shred tires at the entrance. So he basically wants, like, some places to have, like, advantages of others or from others, so that players would want to base at them. So now let's move on to a more, like, interesting topic or thing to talk about: the mission system. So they want to add, like, missions or, like, achievements in the game. Gus says that missions could come in many forms, provide temporary or permanent game-changing rewards, and advance the story/narrative of the game. Once again, I'll remind you that everything is subject to change, and our first version of missions is likely to be very limited. So, like, when they first add missions, it's going to be, like, very, like, not like too interesting, but, like, as they, like, update the game, like, finish more of the game, like, they'll, like, add, like, more, like, interesting missions, I guess you could say. So it says there's going to be 3 types of mission we have in mind: repeatable tasks, rare opportunities, and storyline missions. The lowest form of these is repeatable tasks. Think of these as what you might casually achieve on the side, like kill X number of infected with weapons. In general, rewards for these, like, tasks could be like a powerful firearm with ammo, a repaired vehicle, rare vehicle upgrades, firearm attachments, or, like, ammo containers. Rare utility items, base building materials, or even special base items like a portable gas generator. So then he talks about rare opportunities. Rare opportunities is what he would call, like, the next category of missions. Basically, he wants, like, these missions to be, like, not that common, like, you won't be able to get them or do them that often, but they'll be more risky too, but they will give you really, really good rewards. And by, like, good rewards, he's not talking about, like the rare items they already have in the game. Well, maybe those as well, but he's suggesting, like, a whole new category of content. He's saying that these missions should reward players with vehicles, firearms, modifications, or equipment that cannot be obtained any other way. So, like, if he says, like, if they were to add like a 50 caliber anti-material rifle or an armored personal carrier, these missions are how we would make those things obtainable. Then he talks about, like, storyline missions. Basically, like, these missions would vary in complexity, but over time the player will like, receive more powerful permanent rewards that will give them more, like, options from session to session. And again, he says that they want these missions to be, like, the main, like, long-term avenue of progression for the player. Also, one more thing. Everything I talked about in this video is highly subject to change. So yeah, keep that in mind. But yeah, that is the end of my video. Hope you guys enjoyed watching it. Again, like, obviously I didn't talk about everything in this post because this is, like, a huge post. Again, if you want to like, read the entire thing, I have a link to the, like, the post in the description of the video if you want to read the entire thing. But yeah, and also, like, the video was just getting, like, way too long. Like, it's already, like, 14 minutes now. And if I talked about, like, every single detail and stuff and every single thing that they said in the post, this video will be, like, 1 hour long. So yeah, that's the end of my video. Hope you guys enjoyed watching it. Thank you guys for watching to the end. And yeah, if you guys watched to the end, I appreciate that. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.